What is up, everybody? It's Kamikaze here today, and today I wanted to talk about Call of Duty Mobile's most controversial nerf in Season 13, and that is the Dead Silence nerf. A lot of you guys may not have heard about this, so this is very important information, and I wanted to talk about it and also hear what you guys have to say. So let's get right into this very interesting video. Now, before we get into this video, guys, I am not going to waste too much of your time with this. If you guys could, please like and subscribe. It always helps me out a lot. So, yeah, thank you for that, and that was a great, shameless self-promotion right there. So, yes, in Season 13, we saw a lot of nerfs and buffs and changes, and, you know, very slight little variations. I would like for them to one day truly nerf and buff things, get a great rebalance here, because there are a lot of weapons that just underperform continuously, and so I'd really like to see that change there. But we've had a lot of little slight things, but one of the less slight things is the Dead Silence nerf. Now it only works, evidently, when you're crouching or proning. It really doesn't work that well when you're sprinting. So, in reality, it's not dead silence. People can actually hear you moving around. And, well, in all honesty, people could actually still hear you, like, sliding and jumping and stuff when you did have Dead Silence one in the past. But now to see, you know, sprinting is what most people do when they're playing and not firing. To see that change is actually pretty crazy, because, in all honesty, it's an overpowered perk. Let's be honest here. Like, I know a lot of people here are really angry that Dead Silence got a nerf, but in all honesty, I've used it since I started playing in Season 2. I mean, it is overpowered, okay? The blue perks, really, almost all of them suck, other than Dead Silence. So hopefully, when we add in, you know, maybe nerf it a little bit, I think the blue perks will definitely get a pretty decent change. I'm very happy with it. You know, I'm happy to see any time that something is held a meta for way too long, like the Dead Silence, you know, it needs to be changed. And so, in all honesty, I don't think the Dead Silence was really that crazy good, because a lot of people don't wear headphones when they're playing, so I mean, you know, it's hard to really gauge, like, where the steps are coming from, but if you are wearing headphones, like, surround sound kind of thing, with kind of like a stereo system, you can actually kind of tell where the sound is coming from and where the player is. So not a lot of people do that, but when you get into the higher tier level of play, there are some players out there that will find you and hunt you down with this, if you don't have Dead Silence on. So, to a certain extent, I do kind of wish they didn't nerf it, and I wish that they would just buff some of the other blue perks, because the other blue perks suck. And in all honesty, I mean, I feel like if you don't have Dead Silence on, it definitely gives a major advantage to headphone players, which a lot of the player base is not headphone players. So it would definitely, I feel like, to a certain extent, give, like, an unfair advantage to the players that are using headphones. But we will always see. I'm very happy with this getting a change, because I feel like now, you know, all the different perks can actually be used a little bit better. I do think that we still need a little bit of a rebalancing of the blue perks, and all perks, to be honest with you. You know, there are some perks that are so useful and, you know, are considered meta, and then there are others like the Engineer, where you can, like, re-roll score streaks. Like, they really aren't useful at all, and only in very small scenarios that almost never happen. I would really like to see a change in that. You know, I must say, you know, this is a change that has been needed for a while in terms of perks. We've finally been getting some new perks, you know. They've finally been adding in some new ones, because for a while there, we only had, like, 6 per category. And, you know, out of that, only, like, probably I would say 1 or 2 in each category were actually usable. So to see that change and see new perks coming in and see them rebalancing perks is definitely a very good sign, because I think perks are such an underrated part of this game, because, you know, it gives you different styles of play. At the end of the day, you know, things like operator skills, things like, you know, score streaks and tacticals, they can only be used, like, a limited amount of times. A thing like a score streak is, or not a score streak, a thing like a perk is used continuously throughout the game, so I feel like it gives a wider field of change in terms of gameplay, because you have all these different perks that can be changed, and different categories. It gives you a lot more customization, because at the end of the day, the amount of perks, the amount of guns, whatever you have, it really does not matter. It matters all about the balance of the game, okay? Because if I have 50 guns in this game, which there are about 50 guns in this game, and only, you know, say 2 or 3 are actually usable, like, or actually meta, well then, you know, really, the amount of guns in the game doesn't matter, because the other ones all suck. Now, I'm not saying the Call of Duty Mobile's, you know, gunsmith, like the balance sucks, but I am saying that, you know, there are definitely some issues, and you need to fix the meta when it occurs, so that you have a better balance, so we can use all these different guns and have different playstyles. There's always going to be a meta. Understand that. You know, balancing is hard to do. And no matter what, whenever you're adding in new content, whatever, even if you're staying at the same static content, there's always going to be a gun that goes relatively above the rest. You just want to make sure that the other guns can compensate, and that the other guns are as close to equal as possible with said meta gun. So I do think that, this change in Dead Silence is a great change. I just really hope that they make sure to kind of give changes to the other perks as well, because there are some cool perks out there. They just need a little bit of a buff. They just need a couple of changes, and I think that would be really nice. I think in this season, I'm very happy with it, with what's come out so far. I mean, at the end of the day, I could ask for, huge changes and everything across the board, but in terms of balancing, I'm very happy with it. There really aren't too many big things coming in, except for, like, the Gunsmith 2.0. I really wish that zombies would come in eventually, of course. I think everybody wants zombies to come in, but at the end of the day, Call of Duty Mobile has just said no. But we are getting some changes, and I think that, in terms of gameplay, this season is going to make me want to play again, because I've not played in, like, a while. In all honesty, like, I've only really played to record gameplay. And that's probably just, like, I would say, an hour or two a week in these past 2 weeks that I've played. I really have not played that much at all, just because I felt like Season 12 was monotonous, it was boring. There really wasn't any content that I was crazy interested in. I mean, the balance was still relatively the same from Season 11. There's really no new content that I would consider to be major. It was just really boring, it was unoptimized. So I'm hoping that coming into Season 13, I haven't had too much of a chance to really see how optimized it is, but I'm really, really hoping that we do get some better optimization. Looks like they had a lot of changes and fixes. But I also think in terms of balance, these new changes hopefully will give the game some more vitality. Give it some new stuff, because again, the meta just has been stagnant. In the past 2 months, just using the same exact guns over and over again gets extremely, extremely boring. So, having those changes definitely, it revitalizes the community, and I'm so happy to see, these changes finally come back in, because again, for 2 months, just nothing. Really, even since Season 10, the gameplay has not changed all that much. Even since Season 9. We've had, although they've been different guns in the meta, it's just been the same exact playstyle every single time. Now, of course, I can say I was kind of sad that the 2 new guns that were added in were also, a SMG and an assault rifle. We didn't need any new ones. We already have way too much. I would have been so happy to see maybe like a new LMG, a new sniper, a new shotgun, like a marksman rifle, something. Just something new, especially a new LMG. We need a new LMG. We have not gotten one in, way too many seasons. I think that, the gameplay, though, has definitely made a change for the better. And it doesn't really matter how many guns you're adding in, because at the end of the day, if the meta just consists of just a few weapons, it's going to get boring either way. It doesn't really matter how many guns you have in this game. Although I am always happy to see new content and stuff, sometimes it's just the same exact stuff over and over again, it feels like. And especially when we're getting new assault rifles and SMGs, it just feels like the same exact thing every single time. I do definitely think, though, that they turned up the heat with this one, with Season 13, and I hope that, in Season 14, Season 15, whatever, we're going to be getting more features that people actually want. Because, I've seen them make some changes, and I've seen them add in new content and stuff, and that's cool. That is, at the end of the day, that's really cool, and I like that. But, it's just not the content that we particularly want. We want zombies, we want stuff like that, we want fixes and optimizations, we want stuff that I think, we want a new LMG, That's what the community has been asking for a very long time. New features, even, smaller things. Smaller than zombies, just a new LMG. The players have been asking for that for at least 2 or 3 seasons, and we still have not gotten one. Like, it just, I don't know, I just feel like they're not listening to the community sometimes. But I do feel like with the Dead Silence, changes, they are very nice. I do really like them, but I just think that, Call of Duty Mobile really needs to step it up with listening to the community and hearing what they have to say. The community is not always going to be right, okay? And they are a business, they have to make money, of course. They can't just go into bundles only. They have to have these lucky draws to make money, because that's how monetization in the game works. However, I feel like in terms of just the little things, features and stuff that we want, they listen, but it just takes a very long time. And I don't really understand that, Stuff that we asked for in Season 10 is finally getting added in Season 13, Like the thing where you can keep the guns, keep the gunsmith camo, without attachments. So basically, you know, the attachments don't change what the weapon looks like. We've been asking for that since Season 9. We finally got it months later. Like, Season 9 was a while ago. And we finally got it. Like, that sort of thing, I don't know. I like that it's getting added in, but again, taking so long to get added in is definitely a very big downside. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I want to hear what you guys have to say. So if you have anything to say, hopefully please do not be, you know, obnoxious, don't curse in the comment section and stuff like that. Just, I would really like to hear what you guys have to say about, you know, the Dead Silence nerf and Season 13 in general. So if you guys have anything to say, I'd like to hear it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys could please, of course, like and subscribe. I will see you next time, guys. I love you all. Have a great day.